We have a pretty big group, so I don't want to seem like I'm yelling, but first I'm going to take you guys through the jail. Please also keep in mind that even though we are taking tours through the police department, we are still operating. We're still open for business. So if I'm taking you guys into an area where we need to keep our voices down, I'll let you know. And
can we take pictures?
you can take pictures if you like. So this is our front desk area, which we're going to bypass. Go straight in. Jail first.
Go
ahead and walk straight back through there.
Morning.
No.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay, let me squeeze up in front of all you guys. Okay, so the first place we're gonna go is to our jail. When officers go into the jail, either through this end of the building or the other end of the building, they are to remove their weapons. All weapons come off, every officer, and go into lockers. There are no weapons allowed in the jail at any time. I will keep my gun on today because we don't have anybody in there. So basically we lock up our weapons in here, and then we press the button and the jailer lets us in. When we first walk into the jail, you will notice this is where we take pictures of everybody that gets booked through our jail. This entire jail, including this booking photo area, every interview room, every hallway, all video and audio monitored 24/7. There are always cameras and audio rolling in the jail. As we walk through the jail, please be very mindful of the walls. There are buttons on the walls that we need to stay away from. Those are emergency buttons. If an officer gets in trouble with a prisoner and needs help, we press those buttons and the whole world comes and helps us out. So just don't touch the buttons on the walls as we're going upstairs and through the jail. So this is where everybody gets their pictures taken. The jailer stands in this area right here and actually takes the photo from that station. Let's get everybody to the ghost kind of come in here.
Do you want to go ahead?
Go ahead.
There's a ghost downstairs. Oh, I'm not supposed to.
Whenever anybody is arrested and brought to the Fullerton jail, they are brought in through the back doors here. The officers drive their cars into what we call the Sally Port, and they're brought in through the back door. Like I said, all officers remove their weapons. Also notice cameras. There are cameras everywhere. Typically we bring our suspects in and we use one of two interview rooms. If the suspect is willing to talk to us about what happened that day, we take them into an interview room. Those interview rooms are also monitored by audio and video. Yeah, you'll see cameras and they're caged because sometimes if people have a tendency to not want to be in these rooms, and a lot of times they'll try to destroy the cameras. So you'll see cages around all of our expensive camera equipment.
How many people go through your jail a year?
I don't know the exact statistics. We have the capability to hold of 32 bodies at a time.
Wow.
So our jail holds 32 bodies at a time. If for some reason we get overcrowded or we need to make room for more people, we load them up into a van, a lot of our prisoners, and we take them to the Orange County Jail where they're booked and held until court.
You said about 7,000 a year.
7,000 a year. There you go. Fingerprints are taken here. We used to take ink prints back in the old days when I first started. Now with computers and everything, we don't do ink prints anymore. We use this. It's called a live scan machine. Every fingerprint that's rolled on this live scan machine goes directly to the Department of Justice. So it's a paperless system. So we're walking through. The jailer's office is here. We have a pretty big group, so I'm not gonna bring you guys through there. But this is our jailer, Mr. Efren Reggae.
Hello.
He's been here for many, many, many years. So the jailer in his office, he does all of the computerized bookings that are sent to him, and he processes the prisoners on the inside. He's also responsible for monitoring the cameras upstairs. We have cameras in a lot of our jail cells upstairs. Besides monitoring everything that goes on in the cameras, the jailer is also responsible for going up every 30 minutes and doing what we call bed checks. Basically walking through the jail, making sure that everybody is fine and good. Certain cells require every 15-minute bed checks, and I'll show you guys those when we get up there. Another interview room. This is a temporary holding cell. This is for persons who need to make phone calls right away, for persons who want to visit with their family members or attorneys. When you walk by here, you can see on the other side is the visiting room. If any of you want to feel this door and see how heavy and sturdy it is, feel free to do that. These are very, very heavy doors. If you want to take pictures inside the jail, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay, so walking back here, another holding cell. Again, this is for making phone calls and holding people before we bring them.
No toilet, huh?
As we walk up the stairs, be mindful of the buttons on the walls and follow.
I'm just trying to stay out of your guys' way.
Nice to see a cop in jail, huh?
Is everybody up?
They're still on this stuff.
I know.
I have a question about fingerprinting. You're gonna do children's fingerprints today or somebody
Yeah,
else?
I saw
Yes.
booth outside there.
Outside.
At what age, because I babysit, but she doesn't have, what age do they get fingerprints?
You can get kids fingerprinted at any age.
Because this little girl's 13 months and I don't see any fingerprints at all.
She's got fingerprints.
Does she?
Everybody's got fingerprints from the day they're born,
Oh, okay.
and they never change. So,
Okay.
okay, so this is our jail. On this side of the jail, I'll walk you through this side first. This is what we used to house our females on this side and our males on this side. We no longer house females for any long periods of time. If we arrest females, typically they're held downstairs and transported to Orange County Jail because we have such a large population of males that come through here. So we'll show you those in a minute. Down this side, there are people who are sentenced to jail who don't necessarily want to be in what they call general population. They don't want to be held in the Orange County Jail. These are persons who have offended nonviolent offenders, perhaps drunk driving, nonviolent crimes. They have the opportunity to pay to stay here at the Fullerton Police Department. And instead of being held at Orange County Jail or any other jail, lesser quality than this beautiful facility right here. This is the room that they get for $100 a night. This is the room that they get. They are locked in at night. During the day, they are free to walk around. They work here. They clean this jail. They clean up drunk tanks when people get sick. They are working prisoners, basically, and we call them trustees. They are trusted to.
Is this where Harmio was?
Yes, this is where he was.
Is this home?
Is this where
So-
Wolf was?
Yeah, so feel free to walk in there. It's no Hilton, but that's what you get for $100 a night.
Monopoly too?
You get Monopoly?
Wow, a refrigerator?
Yeah.
I always thought the jail was.
Yeah.
A refrigerator too?
Beers in the refrigerator.
Yeah, really, huh?
Get out so you can come in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not chicken in the meal menu.
There's no spread. I mean, sorry, through here. That's the menu.
This first cell you'll see here is what we refer to as our drunk tank. This cell has a padded floor. Persons who come in here so intoxicated that they are unable to care for themselves, they are a danger to themselves, and can possibly hurt themselves, and just need to sleep it off. This is the room that we put them in. This room can be easily hosed out for those persons who can't handle their alcohol and tend to vomit all over the place. This is the perfect room for them because we can just hose it out and down the drain. There's nothing in here that they can hurt themselves on. Like I said, the floor is padded, the walls are not. Typically, they pass out right in the middle of the floor. This room is also monitored by the jailer. If we ever have anybody in this room, the jailer is constantly watching with the video camera. And they come up here every 30 minutes. Well, for this tank and this tank, it's a 15-minute check. And obviously always monitored. This room right here is very rarely used. I've worked here for 25 years. I have used it back in the old days several times. This room is completely padded. This room is for persons who are arrested, who are refusing to go along with the program and cooperate. They want to fight with the officers. They want to try to injure the officers. They want to try to injure themselves for their safety, for our safety. They're placed in this room, depending on how violent they are. Many times they are placed in this suit, which restricts them from moving at all. And then placed in this room. This room is 100% padded so that they cannot harm themselves. There also is no bathroom in there, and it is also monitored by video. Again,
Isn't that the bathroom?
very rarely do we use this room because very rarely do we have reason to. People that are put in this room are stripped completely of belts, shoes, anything that they can use to harm themselves. They go in whatever they're wearing on their boxers, their t-shirts, whatever. We strip them down for their safety. Back in here, these are our regular jail cells. So once somebody is booked downstairs and they're going to be housed here until court, these are the cells that they go into. Feel free to walk into the cells if you want to walk in there and take pictures.
Go ahead, Jen.
Wanna go inside one of them?
Good old days.
How do you get up there?
Now, as far as video monitoring up here, all these hallways are audio and video recorded
I can't, I'm
24
recording.
hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wait,
However,
how do
we
we?
are unable to monitor the insides of these cells,
Ready?
and that is for
1, 2,
people's
3.
people's privacy. There are
Can't really
privacy
see much of your
laws
face.
that we
All right.
cannot invade with
1,
cameras.
2,
So
3.
beyond these bars, this is why we come up every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes we do release. There have been persons who have tried to harm themselves while in our custody. That typically occurs in these cells, and we cannot see what they're doing to themselves because we're not allowed to invade their privacy. So, we come up every 30 minutes, make sure everybody's okay, they're not doing anything to harm themselves or their cellmate. And these go all the way back to the back. TVs are on, they get to choose what they want to watch. We have a large book selection.
Like an anti-glare or something?
Crime novels. No how-to books.
This one doesn't have one.
No Judge Judy. They
What
can
do
watch
they-
whatever
No
they want
Judge
though.
Judy.
What do they get to eat?
I don't think they'd be
Ah,
wanting to watch
okay,
Judge
that's-
Judy here.
I'll
Is there
show
a
you all that.
cafeteria
I'll show
here?
you that right now. That's a good question, and that's what's next.
What was the first one?
Don't worry about it.
What's this, like an anti-glare thing or something?
All right, if it's not real quick,
Maybe
like
magnifies it.
Oh, that is interesting.
Are you with the city?
Yes, I am.
Are you gonna post pictures on the website? No. Cool.
How about you?
This is going on YouTube.
For
Public.
connected to
For YouTube? My video? Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Food. So for all of you who've heard about that, donations and auctions, lunch with the chief, a jailhouse lunch with the chief, this is what we get. If you all want to take a look, this is where all of our food is kept for all of our prisoners. This is where it's all cooked. So, if you're arrested on a Wednesday and you're joining us for lunch, chicken cacciatore.
Yummy.
Yummy.
TV
So-
series.
A Thursday, turkey and stuffing. I mean, we go all out.
Yep.
Okay, sign
This
me
is our
up.
food. This is the Friday lunch.
Really?
Hot dogs and macaroni. You'd probably like that one, huh?
Are you kidding? I'd like can I see one of the meals, please? I'm sorry.
The Friday dinner, breaded chicken and vegetables. Everything is healthy.
Did you want
Everything is delivered fresh, and they are heated up right here in this multi-microwave cooker. They also get juice, milk, and a beverage to wash it all down with. This is our jail kitchen, so. These are just more cells. It's kind of a mirror of the other side. It's where we used to house our females. Today, our trustee, who usually has that room for everybody's safety and his, he is back there, so we're not gonna go back
24
there.
hours a day then, the trustee.
Yes, the trustee is someone, again, who pays to stay here, based on not wanting to stay at the Orange County Jail or another facility. And he is.
Privileged.
He is allowed to roam around in here free. He works here, basically, so.
So just upstairs, he's allowed to roam around.
So, yes, he is allowed to roam around. He is locked down at night, but he is a safe person. He is not someone who has committed some heinous crime. So any questions about the jail? Anything, Ann, you want to add that I might have missed?
I don't know. I think they do make the food though. I think the trustees do.
Yes, the trustees do the cooking.
And laundry.
Check in, but you'll never leave, right?
That's right. Hotel California, right here.
I don't know. The
No,
jail
our
might
police
have
station
this.
looks
Be
just
careful
like
going down
Hotel
the stairs.
California.
Again,
See
be
that?
mindful
I
of
noticed.
on the walls.
I mean, is it open to public?
I wonder where Hampton's office is.
Yeah, I
huh?
mean, it's certainly no secret.
You can see it online somewhere.
I don't think so. I don't. I will ask Jerry.
Now, who's got the money to do it?
we can't.
Did you have to have money?
Water, which you pretty serious.
That's great.
You don't want to go upstairs?
You got to see this, but I'm going to get to see this.
Okay, we're gonna come out this way.
Feel better?
Yeah. I probably would too.
This is where they put prisoners.
So this is this is what we call the Sally Port. When we bring somebody who has been arrested in here, typically we bring them in here. Depending on if they're a violent or a non-violent prisoner, we will oftentimes close these gates. There's no way except into the jail for these people. When we do mass transports down to Orange County Jail, they're transported to this man. Yes. Many times we do our bookings, once we arrest somebody in the field, we can start the booking process in our cars. We all have computers in our cars, so general information. Depending on how crowded the jail is or what's going on in there, a lot of times we can book people right out here. Intoxicated persons that we pick up from bars that are still vomiting all over themselves and everything else, many times are booked right out here so that they can feel free to get sick all over the place and not make anyone else sick. So, that's our Sally Port. Go this way.
You hear that? Where's the donut shop?
They're taking our pictures.
Wait till everybody gets in here. I'll be real brief about what goes on down here because you guys are going up to dispatch next. Make sure everybody gets in here. So basically, we're going up to dispatch next. Down here, and we can hit this later if any of you are interested, this is our briefing room. Every single day before any officer hits the streets, they go to what we call a briefing. They are, briefings are held by the watch commanders, usually the lieutenant of the watch. And every officer is briefed on anything that has gone on in the previous shift, anything that we need to be worried about, anything that we need to concentrate on for that particular day. Any big crimes that have occurred. Everybody's briefed before they get in a patrol car and hit the streets for the day. So that's our briefing room. We can walk through that afterwards if you like. Also our juvenile holding cells if anybody's interested in seeing those. But we are gonna hit the stairs again. If there is anybody who is uncomfortable with stairs, we can have you taken up in an elevator.
Yes, I'll take care of that. Does anyone not feel comfortable going upstairs? Are you okay? I'll go with you.
Thank you, Michael.
Pardon me.
Hang in there, Roberta.
I'm working.
It's nice of you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is the back alley to upstairs. And if I might brag, this is where it all happens, kids. This is where I want.
Really? This is where the phone call came, huh?
So upstairs is where, our detective bureau is upstairs, our narcotics bureau, our gang bureau, our administrators are across the street, well, I mean, sorry, across the hall upstairs, and detective bureau are upstairs. Right now, we're going into our dispatch center. Once again, there's going to be a dispatcher in there that's going to be able to tell you everything you need to know about dispatch. But keep in mind that they are working, so we're going to try to maintain a little bit of, because they are handling radio calls and calls. So come on into the dispatch.
Dispatch.
She peeks out and says, ooh, that's not a good sign.
Okay, then I'll put the call back in the queue. We'll have an officer out as soon as one is available, okay? In the next 20 to 30 minutes, sir. If it's gonna be longer than that, I'll personally give you a call back. I'm a dispatcher, okay? Thank you, bye-bye. Hi, everybody.
Good
Come on
morning.
in. I only ask that you keep your voices down, because just remember, we are taking actual 911 calls and talking to our officers, okay? My name is Dina. I've been here almost 5 years. I'm really glad you're all here. I'm really excited about this. Let me show you what we do first. So what you see is our console. This is our radio screen, so we can communicate with other agencies. This is our call screen. When we have calls that are pending, we know where to send people. This is where we input calls, and then we have several maps. You'll see several maps all throughout the consoles. This is so we can keep track of our officers. If there's any questions as to where the officers were located, we always know. So it's mainly for officer safety. Let's see. We did receive a grant from the state. However, this is a brand new dispatch center, so we're really excited about it. It's less than a year old. I can't remember when exactly we got it, but we got it last year, I believe. I can't remember the exact date. So what we really like these consoles. They go up and down. I'll show you. Because we do work 12 hours, so we are in the room at all times. So what this does is this can go up, and then that part can go down. So it goes down, so we can sit or we can stand. And then this part goes down too. So, yeah. So we do work 12 hours. And I don't want to say we're stuck in the room, because we don't feel like we're stuck. This is what we do. We don't leave. We don't leave for lunch. We bring our own lunch, or sometimes an officer will bring it to us. We have a fully functioning kitchen, our own restrooms. There's usually 3 dispatchers on duty. There's usually a lead dispatcher who sits at the back console. Every console is set up to do the exact same thing, so you don't have to sit at a specific console in order to do specific duties. Yes.
262.
Does it get lighter in here?
Yes, we like it darker because the computers are pretty bright for us.
I see.
Yeah, so we're used to dark, working in a dark cave, if you will. It's just too bright for us. We answer about 90,000 911 calls. That includes all calls on cell phones. One of the big things on cell phones, we don't always know exactly where you're at. So the first thing a dispatcher is going to ask you is what city you're in. That way we can determine if we're going to keep the call in our own dispatch center or transfer it out. We do get every 911 call, so if you need the fire department, you're going to get us first, and then we're going to ask you what the problem is, and we'll transfer it to the fire department. When you call 911, the system fills in your address here, and that's if you're calling from home. If you're calling on a cell phone, like I said, it doesn't always fill it in. What it does is it hits a cell tower, and it gives us a general idea of where you're at.
Montclair Apartments,
We take about 80,000 emergency calls a year.
on the 459 to the Navy Blue Honda
non-emergency,
Civic,
non-911.
6 Papa
And
Foxtrot
then we
Delta
usually field
390
about
in
88,000
Carport
calls
240.
per service, and that's the calls that we're sending to our officers, and they're being dispatched. We're a good agency in that our turnaround time to respond to calls is usually within 30 minutes. We try to get there sooner, but if something else happens and we're on the way, say to take a burglary report, or somebody gets in a really bad traffic accident, then obviously the priority is to help the human mind. Let's see, did anybody have any questions for me? Sure.
How many codes do you have to learn?
How many codes? Oh, I'm gonna
Like
say
10,
there's
4,
more
10.
than 500. Yeah, there's radio codes that we have to learn, there's call type codes, there's, radio call type. There's just a different language that we speak altogether.
Yes.
And what happens is you end up taking that language with you at home. So I'm married to an officer and we tend to talk in code. Let's see. In addition to the calls that we are taking, we're making at least 50,000 calls outgoing. And that includes calling for tows, calling for medics, calling for any kind of call. If somebody gets in an accident, we usually call the family members and let them know what's going on. So it stays pretty busy. I think this is one of the best jobs. I've been doing it for 5 years. We have very seasoned dispatchers here who've been doing it more than 15. So it's not a job that has a great turnaround. Usually the people that are being hired is just to fill in retirees. So it's go ahead.
How does a 911 cell call have to come here versus, let's say,
There's certain cell towers set up all over the city, so depending on where you're at, this is what's happening a lot with cell calls. If you're on the borderline of a different city, say La Habra, and the first thing we ask you is, what city do you need us, or what city are you calling from? La Habra. That's usually in the Imperial Harbor area, so we have to transfer the call to La Habra. We can only dispatch calls for Fullerton here. We're not a county, we're not sheriffs. This is the good thing about having a local police department, because we take care of our citizens in the city. So we can't dispatch for Placentia, they have their own center. We can't dispatch for La Habra. I've gotten calls as far away as Whittier. It just depends on where the cell tower is hitting. So it's really important to tell your family members when you're using 911 on cell phones, tell the dispatcher what city you're in and know where you're at all times. Even if it's just a landmark building. I take this off because I can hear my officers in here. Even if it's a landmark building or just cross streets, we always need to know where you're at.
224
It's in the event.
631
Sometimes we get 911 hang-ups on cell phone and we don't know where the people are. We can call the cell company. They'll give us the name of the person, the address that they're calling from, and then they do what's called a GPS ping, and they'll ping that cell phone and they'll give us an exact location based on altitude and longitude of where you're calling from. But again, it's not exact. It gives us a really general idea. Yes?
This one on the right, can you
Our camera system?
explain that better?
Sure. Our camera system is set up in the downtown area. The watch commander also has access to this. This is so that we have a lot of unfortunate bar fights in the downtown area. So this gives us an idea of where they are, where we
Could
can
ask
tell
them.
our officers to go to. We have access to this here, and our watch commander does too. Yeah.
Do these cameras move around?
Yes, they
think
move
it's the
around.
middle
They're
one.
just set up right now. We can,
On the left
if we wanted to zoom in on one particular location, we can hit the button. It'll go right to the bus depot. We can do a zoom. We can do a panoramic view. So it's pretty detailed, and this really helps for assaults on people. And it's like a a second eye for the citizens. We can watch for you and make sure that your safety
Oh,
is
you
not
can
being
tell.
compromised. Yes.
Which one's the transportation center?
The bus depot is on the very bottom, on the right hand side.
On the right.
It tells you on the top. So we have the bus depot, Pomona Parking Museum, the Triangle area, south of Commonwealth, the church, which is Harbor and Wilshire, and then different museums. We're getting new cameras, so we're going to have a lot more cameras set up. Especially what it helps with is the parking structures for car burglaries. You can give a heads up for the officers.
What if a car burglary turns out to be a false call? What do you do?
Well, you can always send an officer. He can always check it out. There's no problem an officer just driving by.
Yeah, that should
Yes.
happen.
This one here,
Our cameras are inside.
downstairs.
Yes, so we have cameras set up in different locations in the department, so we can watch people coming into the front desk.
So I guess you can hear and everything that's
We
going
don't
on
hear.
there. Oh, you
No,
don't hear.
we don't hear. This is just cameras.
This one up here with the
Yes.
numbers 242, 224.
These are our
these
officers.
cars,
Those are units.
where they are
So
at
each
right now.
officer is assigned a specific unit number, and it's usually based on the car number. So, and then the white part is the call number.
Oh, I see.
So we know that 63187 is a specific call. You can look here, it tells you the call. We know exactly who's there.
And that's where the car is right now.
That's where the car is. And we can, and you can actually see the cars moving up and down. It's real time. It's not every 5 minutes it updates. No, it's real time. You see the cars moving up and down.
You mentioned that one of the benefits of having your own local police is 911 dispatch.
Yes.
If we don't have a local police, because you notice a lot of people wear the I Love Bulletin Police
Yes.
t-shirts. So if that doesn't happen, then what would happen to the 911 dispatch here?
It would go to the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department, I will say, and I don't think it's a secret, has a really lengthy turnaround time. So if you're calling and saying my car just got broken into, you would probably wait about 2 hours for an officer to show up. Sometimes I've heard longer. So it'll get sent to a centralized location. They have a rather large dispatch center, and then they field calls to the specific officers that are assigned in that specific city.
Just a response to a question that was brought up a few minutes ago, just so that you all understand, and as far as responding to calls, whether they are false reports or not, if a citizen calls this dispatch center, this police department, and says that there is something going on, we do not doubt that citizen.
Right.
An officer responds. An officer responds to every single call, no matter what. If it's somebody making a false report, we still go and respond, and then the officer can determine when he gets there whether or not it was a fake call. We do respond on every call, no matter what.
Exactly.
Is it a crime? Is it a?
4 a.m. where birds are chirping in the
Yes.
street.
But
And I will tell you, I've gotten, I'm sure I could spend an entire day just telling you the types of calls we get. We take every call seriously because we don't know what's on the other end. We can't just assume, no, I'm sorry, ma'am, that just sounds ridiculous. I took a call of a lady who says, I think we have UFOs. I see these bright lights, and then I actually saw them from the dispatch center. And there was a fire in the area, so those were helicopters. So, I mean, we get them all. We get people calling on 911, what's the time?
What's the time?
I mean, you get it. It's okay. I mean,
it happens.
and then another thing that we get a lot is after an earthquake, you get calls on 911, did we just have an earthquake? We're not equipped with the earthquake stuff, so we're guessing just as much as anybody else. But we're always here. There's always dispatchers on duty 24/7. Is there any other questions? This is one, like I said, this is one of the best jobs, one of the most rewarding. I would rather not be doing anything else but this. We work 12-hour shifts, 3 days a week. Vacation and holiday pay. But yes, and I will say this is one of the best police departments in the county.
I think the hardest job is when you have a little kid on the phone.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was gonna go into that, but one of the hardest calls to take as a dispatcher, we're trained for all calls. We have extensive training in all areas. We go through an academy, we get yearly training. One of the hardest calls is to hear, I can't find my child. I've taken my share of those. Those are really hard. You have to maintain your composure because you are the person telling them, we're gonna do this together and we're gonna be okay. I need you to give me all the information. All we ask of the public is stay calm because we are trying to get the information so we can tell our officers so that we can help them.
So all 911 land calls come.
Yes,
In
that-
Fullerton come here.
Yes, all 911 lane calls from your home, from your business, pay phones, they all come here. But we do get calls for other cities. A lot of them are Placentia, La Habra, Brea, and like I said, I've gotten them as far as Whittier. And we have the capability to transfer to any agency. All we have to do is touch a button. It's very quick. Stay on the line, I'm gonna transfer you. Same thing with fire. If you say, I need the paramedics, we hit one button, it goes right to them. The way the fire department works, they're gonna ask your information all over again. They're gonna ask for your address because everybody wants to make sure we are sending the officers to the right location. So you may think, you should know my address. Yes, I should. However, there's been mix-ups in the landlines. We always wanna make sure we're sending our officers to the right spot. So we ask for patience when we say for the third time, you're at this house, it's for your safety too.
Okay.
So, are there any other questions?
Onward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks. Doing a good job.
I have a good job. She thinks she's got figured out.
What's his last name?
Klobusky?
Mike.
Klobusky.
Is that Mike? Oh, that's your name.
No, my name's not Mike.
Oh, I know Mike, Lieutenant Mike. I met him several times.
Okay, so I'm a detective. I've been here 25 years. I work what we call the Special Victims Unit. It's our family crimes unit. We deal with special victims. We do have kids present, so I won't get into any great detail, but very quickly, I'll just show you where detectives work. If you can come right through this door. This is what we call the bullpen. This is where all detectives work. Family crimes detectives, property crimes detectives, our crime analyst, and that crime analyst also works in here. And so this is what we call the bullpen. Each one of us has our own little cubicle that we sit in. I'm gonna ask you guys to kind of stay, we're not gonna, obviously, as you know, we deal with highly sensitive information. Don't take pictures of things on people's desks.
I'm sorry.
Please. We handle crimes. We investigate crimes up here. Highly sensitive, obviously, so I would appreciate it if you wouldn't take pictures of any of the paperwork that you walk by because it is obviously highly sensitive. So if we walk straight through here, this is where we all sit and work all day long. And it is empty because it is a Saturday. Typically, we don't work on weekends, unless you're me. And unless we get called in. A lot of us detectives are on call on the weekends. If a child is abducted, if someone is assaulted in certain ways, we get called in from home and we respond. So thank God nobody's in here today. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, come down here. We will take the stairs. We're gonna go this way.
Hilarious. He's always a joker.
Never heard that before.
Yeah.
Never.
The coffee pot? No coffee pot? All right.
Very good, sir. I haven't had a donut in 25 years. I'm sorry. I don't understand that. That whole coffee, yes. Donuts, no.
Donuts are my daily vitamin.
I'll squeeze by you guys, and we're gonna go to.
Here, go.
Oh, perfect. I don't need to squeeze by you. I didn't know I had a door over there. Awesome. Thank you so much. Detectives, sergeants, criminal analysts, and of course we have a secretarial staff. We have several cadets that work up there and help us with our investigations. And we're going to go down some more stairs. The range. If anybody does not want to see the range, please raise your hand. This is where we go all the time to practice on our weapons. The range. Okay, so we're all good. We're all going. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are there some kinds of demonstrations or something at the range today?
Yes. Yes, there are. You will have the opportunity, if you choose, to play with weapons.
We'll kind of get lost. Yeah.
Our range is underground. It is downstairs, and there are very good reasons for that. Please call me below. So, once a month, every officer of this police department, whether they are seasoned, whether they are brand new, wherever they work, has to come down to the range and qualify on their weapons that they use. That includes the weapons they carry on their belts, that includes the weapons that are in our cars, and that includes any weapon that we might use in the line of duty. We have to be proficient in every one of them. Come this way. And this is our range.
How's everyone doing?
We have a big group, big group today.
All right.
Only one little guy, only one guy brave enough.
How you guys doing?
You gonna kill them all?
This is the first group, so.
You got simulated.
All right.
Okay, so you guys are gonna take it over, I'm,
Split half and half.
What do we got?
That'll make a difference.
Yeah, just about half of you guys go with David. My brother, I'm Corporal Rubio. The others come with me. There we go. It's kind of
How you
split
doing?
up.
Nice to meet you.
I think
How you doing?
David looks cute.
Come on in. This is where we do our simulation. We do shoot, no shoot. Come on in. Wednesday, come on in. This is where we do a no shoot, shoot simulation. This is where guys learn how to fire the weapons and stuff. Okay. Okay, this is where they have to make decisions. We want them to make decisions here and not in the street. So this is what we do a lot of the time. Excuse me? This is just a big computer game, and it's played on the screen. And what it has is it actually has a shoot back cannon that I can do. I can use a joystick in there to where it actually will shoot back at them. And this is what we use to shoot back at the officers. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Take whatever you want.
when you get hit?
Oh, absolutely.
That would hurt.
These balls come out at 110 foot per second.
I gotta try that.
No, you don't.
You don't want to get hit. Believe me, it hurts.
Anaheim used them on their
That's
citizens.
what comes out and hits them. So if they're not hiding behind this box or they're not in good position, I can shoot them. So when they walk in here and we're running through our scenarios, I tell them to put their glasses on. They know what's coming next. Also, when the person on the screen shoots, the cannon will actually shoot out. So it raises the elevation of intensity. It's not just a big game where you come in and shoot, oh, hey, ha, ha. When the officers come in here, this is training. They have to actually yell at the screen. If they don't, I stop the computer and tell them, hey, let's go. And then I'll actually shoot them. If you look at the box, you can see where those pellets have hit.
Huh.
That's indentations from that, yeah. And the cannon's up here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just spin
And they're
the
going all the
box
way
around.
through.
Yeah, no, I just spin the box around, but the
Oh,
cannon's
okay.
here, that
So-
shoots this way.
So that would be friendly fire, right?
No. This is coming from the screen. This
Oh,
is
the
where
screen.
the bad guys are shooting. So like I said, sometimes I'll just
Bad
shoot.
guys.
If they're standing out here, just to give them a break, I'll shoot the box. And you'll be surprised how fast people move. Am I right?
Yeah.
They move real quick when they hear that whack, because it's loud. So that's what we do, is get them to do their... Oh, absolutely. It's just like in the street. What happens
Can you get a
when you're in the
picture?
street? Everything's elevated quite a bit. That's what we try to do here. We try to train them as close to street as possible, and that's why we shoot this stuff.
Can I?
Hold on 1 second. As soon as we get that
Oh,
things up and
okay.
running, I'll even let you run through a scenario.
Okay.
Then you guys have to make the decision, okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe he wanted to shoot you like he does it out.
No.
No.
Oh, no, I won't shoot the cannon at you guys.
I just want a picture with the gun.
Okay, that's what I'll do is I'll let you run through a scenario and let somebody take a picture of you. Okay? Absolutely.
The city can.
Fear factor goes way up and everybody makes decisions different. What I'll do is I'll run through a scenario. You'll be able to use these guns. These are just the same guns that we use on the street, only they have a laser inside. And that's what we do. It will actually show on the screen what happens, where it shots, the time, everything. You'll have to make a decision. Now, I can determine shoot, no shoot anytime through the computer. With you guys, it will be shoot only, because it's no fun to stand there and scream at the screen and don't move. But that's where we have to make the decision. We usually when we run through scenarios, I'll run through 4 scenarios. Now, each scenario is different. We have probably 90 scenarios on there. And each scenario has 4 to 5 different endings. So nobody knows when they come into here whether it's going to be a shoot or a no shoot. There's sometimes I have all 4 no shoot. There's sometimes I have all 4 shoot. I'll split it up 3, 2, 1, whatever I want. That way they can't come in with that mindset, I'm going to shoot somebody. Okay? Some of the scenarios you have a gun out because it's already a felony car stop. So the gun is out ready to go. Other times you're holstered and you're standing up there. Because when you walk up to a car to pull somebody over, you don't walk out with your gun up. You walk out with the gun in the holster. Then you have to make that quick decision. And that's what this is all about. Those instant decisions you have to make day in and day out. If you make a mistake here, you get yelled at, you get chewed at, but better to do it here than out in the street. And that's what we do. We try to make people have decision-making training here. And it's fast and it's quick. And you'll realize it real quick. 2 people go ahead and pick up a gun.
I don't touch guns.
You want to
Anybody
shoot?
want to volunteer?
Yeah,
Be
like-
a police officer for a moment?
I'll take a picture, but I
Go
will not,
ahead.
I will not
Take
touch a
picture,
gun.
Then you guys can both run through the scenario.
Hold on. Is the flash on?
Yeah.
Now both you pick up the guns.
Looks good. I don't touch guns, sorry.
It's
Still,
Real.
I don't.
all right.
Oh, come on.
Nobody.
Burn up.
No.
You got that killer instinct,
I'm
I
not
can
quick
tell.
enough. I'm not quick enough, they'll shoot me.
Amy, you want to be his backup?
Be nice. You can.
You want to be his
Should I be
backup?
on this side from the left or what?
You do it.
No. You're a police officer walking into a scenario. You don't know what you're walking into. You just got a radio call, he'll tell you. You just got a radio call or
You're on
something.
radio.